What's up, everybody? This is Clements, and I have the great pleasure of being joined by Mike Gamble, producer on Mass Effect, the Mass Effect the series, but also specifically Mass Effect 3 Omega, the next DLC coming.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's jump right in. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what we're seeing in this demo?
So this demo is kind of a cross-section, I guess, of what you might be able to see in Omega. It kicks off basically in the first mission, and we've got a very put together cutscene in the beginning. You see that this is kind of a longer cutscene, but it's kind of chopped together into something that's really, really quick and gives you the intro to Omega. In the actual final DLC, this will be much longer and contextual and explanatory. Sure. But for the demo, we just kind of truncated it. So here, basically, Arya and Shepard get together in the Citadel, and obviously Arya has something to ask of Shepard. And
they always do.
They always do.
Anybody that needs to talk to Shepard usually has something.
Needs a favor. Yep. So the idea is basically, please Shepard, help me take back Omega from Cerberus and General Oleg Petrovsky, who is featured right here. He's very threatening, and he does a lot of smack talking.
It's the beard.
It's the
really
beard.
The
beard and the accent go a long way. But Arya, she has her own rules basically by which she operates, and for her to use Shepard basically is asking Shepard to do this alone, do this just with Arya on her own terms, not with the other squad members. This is kind of Arya's fight, and she doesn't want involvement by very many people. Shepard obviously is someone that Arya can trust, but basically only as far as she can throw her. And
I like that expression. That's a good way to put it.
It might be a Canadian thing. So we've got Shepard and Arya basically breaking through the first lines of defense. You saw earlier in the demo that Omega is essentially behind a ship kind of stockpile. Essentially, all the Cerberus ships are really just trying to blockade anyone from getting in. So they have to cut a narrow path into it. And there they did it. I'm just going to adjust the.
Please do. This is the inside look of the options.
Yeah.
In Mass Effect 3 Omega.
You know what? I'm going to keep it on normal to avoid humiliating myself.
No, that's fine. Do what you got to do. Now, usually in a lot of our demos, we have someone else that's not talking drive. So you have the great pleasure and pain of both driving and talking, which I think is near impossible. Because
I enjoy Omega so much that I don't mind playing the demo for the 40th time this week.
That's not even a joke. You have probably played it more than 40 times.
Yeah, you bet. So you'll see Arya has a couple, well, for right now, she has a new power called Flare. It's basically a biotic explosion. A combination of multiple biotics which lead to a pretty substantial explosion which can kind of tear through anything.
Okay, excellent.
Boom. Just like that.
Beautiful.
Arya is quite astute at biotics, and I'm going to level her up.
Oh, that's the best is when you have those like 20+ points
and
to
you just like
distribute.
Become a death dealer.
Now, how long the actual Omega DLC is? I believe. Did you guys say that it is the longest of the story-driven DLC?
Yeah, it is. It is by far the longest that we've done, at least out of BioWare. Omega was primarily developed in BioWare Montreal by the Montreal team who worked on Mass Effect 3.
Okay. Excellent.
With some help here and there from some of the BioWare Edmonton studio. But what that does is it gives us the opportunity to work on multiple pieces of content at the same time. So, while we were making Leviathan, the Montreal team, sorry, yeah. While we were making Leviathan in Edmonton, the Montreal team was hard at work on Omega, and we're really kind of happy and proud as to how it's turned out. So here we have, obviously, still the spearhead of what we're trying to do to basically make this initial Omega.
Yeah, just push through the defenses. And I see you're rocking the incendiary ammo, which is always one of my favorites.
Yep.
I know it sounds terrible. I just love the effects of when your enemy is dissolving
burning
in front of
on
you.
fire
Yes.
and screaming. And
just as long as they're the bad guy. That's the key.
Of course.
As long as they're the bad guy. So, by the way, my gamer instincts tell me whenever a giant door is slowly lowering that something bad is going to happen. Do it. Yep, okay. And there are enemies behind it. Giant door has been lowered.
And the slower the door seems to close or open, the more enemies.
The more enemies, or the bigger the boss, yes.
That's right.
And you said this is of course, still a demo, so it's not the complete experience, but this is towards the beginning of what people actually see in Omega.
Absolutely,
okay.
absolutely.
Excellent.
So this is actually essentially the first mission.
Okay.
Now Omega has 4 pretty large missions, and it also has kind of a mini hub area as well.
I love how that guy just looked like he kind of sat down.
Yeah, he just gave up. he saw me and just took off.
What would you? I mean, if you saw a shepherd, I mean,
no,
I would say that's there's no question.
I would just
give up.
Leave forever. So essentially, what we're trying to do is make our way through Omega and meet up with folks that Arya knows to kind of bolster the reinforcement, bolster the war effort, and really allow for the fleet and the large number of people who are here to protect and serve Arya to help with the reclamation. So you'll see that Cerberus is kind of taken over. They've set up shop. They've really put a lot of propaganda around.
The logos everywhere.
Yeah, just
those jerks.
And they expect people to really not mind that they've taken shop. But the populace seems to be pretty upset.
The Omega color scheme was already very Cerberus-like, so it probably wasn't very hard to rebrand Omega in their own image.
Orange.
Orange, generally orange. Lots of fire and death.
Fire, death, and orange. So you'll see outside the huge space battle kind of going on.
How long has this particular piece of DLC been in development? I mean, I know there's overlap with the multiple studios, but
yeah.
How long do you guys have to turn something like this around?
Omega actually started development right after we finished Mass Effect 3 in the Montreal studio. So that it took a long time.
So it's been a while, yeah.
Because there's a lot actually that goes into Omega. There's a couple new enemies from the Cerberus palette, which you'll see pretty soon here.
Excellent. I'm excited. By the way, I'm very glad that we're playing as a female Commander Shepard. I think that's good.
Yeah, most people actually in the office do play as a female Commander Shepard.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. Okay.
So here we have one of Arya's kind of lackeys. He's wondering what the heck's going on, and he's attacked by this Rampart mech.
Oh dear. Oh no, he's going to be fine. Oh no.
It just focuses on the blood splatter on the floor, and then into the fiery burning death force field. So what you'll see there, this is the Rampart mech. This is kind of the Cerberus crowd control unit that's used within Omega to kind of keep the populace under wraps.
It's like a really evil Wall-E, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
You're like never again.
And it explodes when you kill it. So the whole point behind the Rampart mechs is they're usually supposed to attack in numbers, which seems to be happening right now.
Yeah.
And then they really close the gap on you, and they try to use their...
I see, and then if you touch it when it's down, so it's kind of creates a little... Does it create like a little mine on the ground, or you basically have to...
Exactly. I'll show you. Oh, see? So just basically... And, one off, it's okay, but when you have a group of them, the number of people who are going to make fun of me for my play skills after this demo.
Yeah, I dare anyone to try and give an interesting audio demo and also play a game well at the same time. It's a difficult. It's surprisingly difficult. So I will defend you to the ends of time.
Okay.
Picking out skills, it's like picking out something on a menu. You're looking at what sounds good, what you're in the mood for. Please don't touch that. Oh god.
Oh, I guess we can't get past this.
Can't get past it.
So what are we going to do? Well, Arya seems to know Omega like the back of her hand. So she kind of has all the nooks and crannies figured out. So she says, "Here, Shepard, come over here. I'll open up this, trash compactor unit B, and we'll go through here.
Yes.
Lots of pickups. Lots of pickups in Omega. Yeah.
Does Omega introduce any new items as well for you to grab?
Yeah. So there's a couple new weapons. One of note being the Chakram launcher. So it was only really available with the Kingdom of Amalur demo, basically,
Gotcha.
way back in the day.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so that hasn't been available to anyone so far. And it's a pretty fun weapon. I'll probably
and
equip
this
it
is
later
this
on.
is a big deal, Mike.
Yeah,
This is what I was looking forward to.
So this is the kind of reunion of Nyreen, the female Turian.
Wait, whoa! Did you just say female Turian?
I did, and she's quite mysterious and heavily cloaked there. But Arya and Nyreen know each other from the past, and they have a relationship, a tumultuous relationship, but it's based on something. And Shepard's kind of in the middle between them, but both of them are extremely useful in taking back Omega.
And she will play a key role in the Omega retail. I was trying to think of a good word. Reclamation.
Reclamation
right?
of
That's
Omega.
That's the word you
That's
used.
right.
You beat me to it earlier in the demo, I believe. I love the design, though. I guess I kind of just have a thing for the shadowy figures, the cloaks.
Yep. Yeah, she surprisingly enough has roots on Omega, which you find out throughout the story, and you find out what her larger involvement in the war is. But for now, she's a valuable ally.
Excellent.
Who
needs some leveling up?
She does. She needs some auto leveling up.
Now, Nyreen and to clarify, Nyreen and Arya, they will not leave Omega after you're done with this DLC, and they will not go on to do other missions. They are specific to the Omega DLC.
They're specific and focused to Omega.
Which some might lament because Nyreen seems pretty cool. But
she is extremely cool, but you can always play through it again.
Absolutely. Now, can we expect to see any big twists or turns or anything in this story?
Twists, turns, choices, you name it. It's all about that, and we really actually focused on making the relationship between Arya, Nyreen, Shepard, pretty kind of emotionally gripping, and it's important that you get to make choices within this game and within this DLC. So here we are. And you'll notice maybe on the other side of that, there's the Talons, who are basically a merc group, part of Omega, who are under fire, and who are essentially being kind of pinned down by Cerberus. And part of the mission here is to, well, really rescue them, turn on the autocannons, and kind of reunite Arya, Nyreen, and this merc group. So you must defend the ground team for now.
Oh, jeez.
Nyreen has a biotic protector power. That's one of her new powers. Basically deploys a shield. See if I can find her.
She's doing her own thing.
Yeah, she seems to be a free spirit here.
Aren't we all, though?
Alright.
A nice well-tossed grenade.
You know, I miss most of the time.
Can we stop at the bar, the little cocktail glowy thing up there, and just grab a
easy.
drink? Yeah, I mean, why not? Even Shepard needs to relax sometimes.
Funny you say that. I think that's something that we all take to heart very much. You know, saving the universe or the galaxy from impending doom.
It takes its toll. It takes its toll even on a miraculous super soldier such as Shepard. I forgot what ammo type that is. I'm gonna
Disruptor?
Disruptor, that's what it's called. Thank you for that. I call it the Zappy Zap ammo. I've never called it that before. We're gonna see any other the rampart mechs are the only new enemies we're gonna see in this demo, correct?
In the demo, yeah,
Yes,
but in
there's
Omega,
other-
there's other
Excellent. So we can look forward to more stuff.
very cool enemies.
Not just cool enemies.
Very
cool.
cool enemies. Stuff unlike anything you've ever seen.
Oh.
Kill steal.
So you've made it.
We'll find him. Incoming.
No, stop firing. Oh god. Oh, did an enemy get left behind?
Yes.
This is the story of my life.
So basically, the Cerberus engineer has now come to save the day. This lol Cerberus engineer.
Does he realize that he's gonna
outnumbered a bit?
Yeah. He's an engineer. Engineers are smart, right?
Yeah, they're supposed to be. They usually come with reinforcements, though.
I'm on it.
Yep.
Oh dear.
So now they're really in it, and so much so that Nyreen just bit it.
Oh dear.
So essentially what you have to do now is activate these cannons, because really that's the only way that they're going to be able to repel Cerberus long enough for you to get in nice and safe.
Absolutely. And things are not good. This battle is weighted against you.
No,
now.
it's very, very difficult. But run, Shepard! But you'll notice that that Nyreen and Arya, once you get to play with them a bit more, are two of the most powerful squad members that you're able to play with in the series. The reason being, this is what you would consider kind of a higher level DLC, in the sense that your Shepard, you know, even this Shepard right now, level 26 Shepard, things are kind of weighted against you because Cerberus has had a lot of time to reinforce.
Yeah, I mean, this is their playground now.
So if you can technically play Omega right after the Moon of Paladin, so that's about 2 hours into Mass Effect 3.
That was an awesome freeze frame, by the way.
Freeze frame of almost dying.
That was totally rad.
Yep. So yeah, you can play Omega pretty early in the Mass Effect 3 campaign, but again, if you're not doing New Game Plus, you probably have issues.
Yeah, apologies if this is a noob question, but how would one go about accessing this DLC? Say they buy it from whatever digital shop they choose, and then they want to play Omega. Where do they go? Do they just access it through the galaxy or the map on?
Yep, on the Normandy.
On Normandy.
So yeah,
you'll
you'll
typical mission or starts with an email or something.
You'll get an email, and they'll basically say. From Arya, and says, you know, meet me on the Citadel. And this assumes that you've already talked to Arya and had a discussion with her.
Okay. If you haven't, will it not be accessible until?
Nope, you have to go talk to Arya first, and just so the player knows that she's a character on the station.
Right.
And once you do that, then you guys will have a discussion about what needs to be done. And of course, you know, you don't have to take the mission on then. You can wait. So now that the Atlas is dead, I'm going to gun for the cannon controls. And there we go. So Shepard is able to activate the cannon controls and really just save the day from Cerberus.
We shouldn't give her all the credit, though, because she had some pretty sweet help.
Pretty sweet help by Nyreen and Arya. And like I said earlier, Arya has a lot of ground forces here which kind of help her and serve her. And really all it is to reconnect with them and figure out how to, you know, help the populace rise up against Cerberus, because they're pretty reinforced here. They're pretty strong in Omega.
Now, if I'm remembering this demo correctly, I believe that these Cerberus troops are about to get completely wasted.
Completely.
Let's enjoy that for a moment. Oh, no.
And he's like,
nope, didn't make it.
I'm going to try and escape. No.
Again, they're the bad guys, so we're allowed to.
So totally okay.
Yeah, totally okay.
Slow-mo kills, it's all good.
They'll keep the general's forces at bay for a while. Let's get
So at this point, Arya and Shepard and Nyreen basically now have the chance to recoup their losses and bolster their defense. And what you've gained here is essentially like a bunker type hub in the middle of Omega by which you can take on the rest of the missions. So
kind of a dark ending, by the way.
A dark ending. Well,
the hand in the air, slowly clenching into a death fist. So, Mike, have you guys announced a release date for Omega yet?
Yep. So we're launching on November 27th.
November 27th.
For all platforms. I believe it's one day later in Europe for PS3, as it usually goes for DLC.
Excellent.
But yeah, we're really excited. It's going to be $14.99. Or how many Microsoft points is that? 1,200 Microsoft points?
Something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know why they just didn't do it dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, 1,200 Microsoft points, $14.99. And again, the longest DLC we've ever done. Lots of new enemies, lots of choice, some new weapons, and it's really just a fun time.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mike, and taking a look at Mass Effect 3 Omega.
No problem. Thanks.